I'm Jennifer Kendall, founder of Activity Path, where we support women entrepreneurs to grow with clarity, confidence, and purpose. Whether you're tuning in from your home office or catching a quiet moment between meetings, I am so glad you're here. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to let go and close your year right, without the pressure to do it all perfectly. Specifically, we'll explore how to reflect, release, and reset so that you can step into the new year feeling lighter, clearer, and more aligned with what truly matters. My goal is to give you something that you can use right away, something that helps you feel grounded, aligned, and empowered in your business and your life. Let's get started. December for me shows up slightly frazzled. It feels like it's wrapped in a glittery holiday sweater, juggling a to-do list and whispering, "Finish strong," in your ear while waving a champagne flute. If that feels exhausting to you, it's exhausting to me. December often feels like I'm flying by the seat of my pants, like I'm constantly running out of time. And this year, I feel it more so. I'm juggling a bucket list trip and the holidays. I have to tell you, when I booked this trip, it seemed like a good idea. Now, present me is side-eyeing past me really hard. If you are feeling stretched thin, if you're questioning whether you've done enough while simultaneously fantasizing about a nap that lasts 3 days long, let me assure you, you are not alone. Most women entrepreneurs I know are running on fumes and guilt by mid-December. Here's what I've learned though. You don't have to drag all of that exhaustion into January. The end of the year can actually be empowering. It can be a chance to pause, let some things go, and figure out what you actually want to carry forward. Let's call this a year-end reset, but without the pressure to do it all perfectly or all at once. For your reset, let's start with step 1, reflect and celebrate. Let's start by taking a deep breath, literally. Put your hand on your chest and breathe. And then pull out whatever you've been working on this year, all the way back from January. Pull out your goals, your vision board, that letter you wrote yourself, the planner you abandoned in March, all of it. And look back with curiosity, not judgment, because judgment will just make you want to close the notebook and pretend that all of this didn't happen. But with curiosity, I invite you to ask yourself, what still feels inspiring or aligned? What needs a gentle goodbye? What surprised you this year about your business, your clients, and yourself? Now, here's the part we skip way too fast: celebration. Don't celebrate just the big, obvious wins, but also celebrate the quiet ones that nobody else has noticed. Maybe you hit your revenue goal. Amazing. But also, maybe you finally ate lunch away from your desk without checking WhatsApp 17 times. Maybe you set a boundary with a client and enforced it without apologizing. High five you there. I'm celebrating that I got started creating videos this year, and I haven't deleted a single one from YouTube yet. That's huge for me. A year ago, I would have filmed something, watched it, and then immediately convinced myself that it was terrible. The fact that I'm letting them exist in this world, that counts as much as a revenue goal. You can make this process a ritual if it's your thing, or just make it a messy brain dump. Whatever works for you, that's what I want you to do. But I do want to remind you that you don't have to finish this year perfectly. You just have to finish with awareness. Step 2, let go of what no longer serves you. Now, for this part, I know that this can feel both freeing and terrifying. It's true. I challenge you to make a release list. Write down all the projects, clients, offers, or habits that are draining your energy. Now, I don't want you to beat yourself up about them, but I want you to acknowledge that they're taking up space that you need back. So while you're writing this release list, ask yourself, what are you holding on to out of guilt, habit, fear? And what would feel lighter if you just simply let it go? Maybe you're looking at things like closing an offer that no longer excites you. Maybe it's archiving those someday projects that will never spark joy for you. Maybe it's saying goodbye to just in case subscription, a membership, or some digital clutter. And then there's all the emotional stuff. That last one is hard for me. That launch that flopped, that had you questioning everything for months, been there. The resentment that built up from saying yes when I meant to say no, all of that is heavy stuff. And it doesn't just evaporate because we're turning a page from one calendar to the next. Here's what I'm working on this year. You know those someday projects I mentioned? I have a whole list of them along with ideas and samples. I've been carrying these things around like treasures. Letting them go feels hard. What if I need them later? What if future me finally has time for that course idea or that podcast concept? But this December, I'm getting brutal with that list. I've spent most of this year reflecting on what truly matters to me and how I actually want to spend my time. And so the next step for me is clearing out these project ideas that I keep telling myself that I should do or it would be good to do. But honestly, I'm never going to do them. And keeping them on that list is just making me feel behind. So it's time for me to let them go and make room for what feels aligned instead of obligatory. Remember, releasing isn't quitting, it's creating space. You can't welcome growth if your energy is still tangled up in things that no longer fit. And if I'm honest, this concept has taken me years to accept. So if you're struggling with it, have some grace for yourself. I'm still learning too. If you love rituals, write down that what you want to release and then burn it or shred the paper. For me, it's enough to highlight something on my digital screen and hit the delete button. And yes, I hit it very, very hard, sometimes multiple times. I find it very satisfying. Next, I'd like you to take a look at your finances. Money loves clarity. I know it sounds very woo, so stay with me here. Before the new year begins, take some time to review your numbers. Take a look at your income, your expenses, subscriptions, and outstanding invoices. Look at it with a lens of what worked and where things might need adjusting. Schedule a year-end money date with yourself. Make it cozy. Grab a nice mug of tea or hot chocolate, turn on some music that you like, and if you want something a little stronger, go ahead for it. December is hot apple cider season, and I think that and spreadsheets go perfectly together. Regardless of what that money date looks like for you, open your books with curiosity instead of fear. And yes, I understand that that's easier said than done. While you're looking at your books, ask yourself, where did you grow financially? What stories or emotions have surfaced around money? And what do you want your money to feel like next year? Do you want it to feel empowering, flowing, joyful, all of the above? As I'm doing my own financial review this year, I already know what I'm going to find. I'm going to find templates that I bought with the best intention and then never use them. Mini courses I told myself I'd take when things slowed down. Books I purchased because they sounded transformative, but are still sitting in my digital diary and on my desk. In your review, if you find any unused tools, expenses that no longer aligned with where you're actually going, release them. It's the same principle as clearing out physical clutter. When you let go of what you're not using, everything else can flow more freely. Your money isn't just numbers on a screen. It's a reflection of how you value yourself, your work, and your freedom. Let's make that feel good instead of heavy. Next, reconnect with your core purpose. It is so easy to lose sight of your why when you're deep in the daily grind. Juggling client work, marketing, life, kids, aging parents, or just trying to remember to drink water. Take a moment and remember, why did you start this business in the first place? What actually lights you up? What kind of impact do you want to make when all the noise falls away? Sometimes we outgrow our goals, and that's not failure, it's evolution. Your vision is allowed to change as you change. Acuity Path has evolved dramatically since it started, and it's going through another shift right now, even as I write this. Sometimes these realizations happen during a planned December reflection. Other times they ambush you on a train from Lisbon to Avoa while you're supposed to be on vacation. And suddenly you find yourself scribbling business ideas in a notebook while the Portuguese countryside rushes past you. I find that I need these moments of reconnection and reflection, especially when I'm feeling a lot of resistance. The resistance usually means something's out of alignment for me, and I need to stop and figure out what it is. So, as you look ahead to 2026, consider this your invitation to dream again, not from a place of pressure, but out of possibility. And while you do this, ask yourself, what do you want more of next year? More time, freedom, creativity, community? What does more look like to you? And what would it look like to create success that feels like yourself? And here's a powerful question. What bold idea did I ignore this year out of fear or not yet thinking? Maybe it's time to give that idea some oxygen. Or maybe it needs to go on the release list from step 2. Either way, you'll know. Next, reset your systems. Once your mind starts to feel a bit clearer about what matters, it becomes time to look at your actual systems. Because freedom, it does need structure, not the rigid soul crushing kind, but it needs structure. So take some time to audit your tools, automations, and your daily habits and ask yourself, what can I simplify? Where can I automate or delegate? Which processes make me feel spacious versus stuck? Maybe your inbox needs a hard reset. Maybe your client onboarding process can be streamlined so it doesn't take 3 hours. Maybe your calendar desperately needs more white space for creativity and rest instead of being a color coded chaos mess. This is also a good time to refresh your offers, update your website if it no longer reflects who you've become, or make sure that it represents what your business actually looks like today and the person that you are instead of who you were or what your business looked like 2 years ago. Think of it as editing your business for alignment. Before I leave this section, though, let me pause. These are all ideas. Some will resonate and feel doable. Others will make you want to close this video and take a nap. But don't stress out about doing it all. If updating your website in December sounds like torture, don't do it. But if it's something you actually want to tackle, block off a few hours in mid January and start to create a plan for it. The point about all of this isn't perfection, it's intention. In closing, let this December be the month you trade the pressure to do it all for the freedom to be yourself. You don't have to earn your rest, prove your worth, or finish the year with everything tied up in a perfect bow and a matching ribbon. The most powerful reset you can give yourself is permission. Permission to pause, to celebrate, to release, and to dream. The goal is to step into January with more clarity, lightness, and intention, however that looks for you. Maybe it's a full reset with all the steps I mentioned. Maybe it's just choosing one thing from this list and ignoring the rest. Maybe it's simply deciding not to add anything new to your plate for next month and calling that a massive win. All of those are valid. Make this December whatever you need it to be so that you can start next year feeling lighter instead of buried. You have already done enough. Now it's time to let yourself breathe.